Welcome to the Golden Guns.
It is. It's good to be with you, Godwinson. We have some exciting award categories this year at the first annual Golden Guns, the award show that celebrates the blood sport scene. How hype are you, Godwinson?
I'm very hype. I've got the list of nominations straight in from the Academy of Kino and Nectar, and I just can't wait to begin and share these nominations, and hopefully we'll be able to decide on a winner, you and I.
I hope so. Just the two of us. We're getting nectar in the sky.
Let's award the first Golden Gunt for Best IRL Meetup. We've got a selection here. The numerous Sargon meetups that happened last year. We've got Kilroy, and we've also got Knoxville.
You have to think about the Liberalist Beer Hall push. They're just yelling out, Sargon! Sargon! Leader, come to us! And he's so embarrassed he can't even go over to them. When you really think about it, probably Kilroy was the biggest shit show of an IRL meetup of them all.
Mundane Matt doing a speech about being famous and being a social media influencer to an audience of 9 people.
Knoxville had the most iconic moment all year with the Gunt.
And that's why they're the Golden Gunts, PPP, because we've decided to take an emblem, an icon of blood sports. We've decided to make that and fashion that into our award.
I think it's pretty clear that the Golden Gunt is going to go to Knoxville.
Let's award our next Golden Gunt for Best Thought. You've got Venti.
Yeah.
The cat shit on the bed. Some thoughts that weren't thoughts, like Queen of Bants. Do you remember this guy who was collecting dick pics from people pretending to be a woman? And he apparently got a lot of e-celebs, outlines.
Queen of Bants deserves to be nominated for this award for sure.
I don't know. Do we include JF's Potato in Best Thought?
Yes, we have to.
She definitely can produce nectar on demand very successfully every time she appears.
You know who really should be considered for this? That is Ashton Birdie. She should really be.
Yes, she probably will win this, actually, yeah.
She has to be considered. Ashton Birdie was huge last year with her streams.
Ashton Birdie as well, right? In recent months, she snaked on Paul Joseph Watson because they were going out or something. She revealed that he had a micro penis. Imagine my shock, PPP. Imagine my shock. She started dating Baked Alaska. She did a stream where she said that she'd shaved Baked Alaska's ass.
The Golden Gunt goes to Ashton Birdie.
This brings us on to our next category in the Golden Guns. Most genuine person.
Coach has got to be a nominee.
Coach is a genuine, honest guy.
And the Golden Gunt goes to Coach.
Coach Redhill.
For most genuine person.
Our next category. Biggest snake move.
This is one of the most exciting categories. How about when Coach turned on you, Godwinson, with impressions of Godwinson? Worski and JF, the whole breakup there. We have Tonka snaking on everyone. We have, in the wake of Knoxville, Coach and Ralph snaking on each other.
Baked Alaska snaking on his own chat, snaking on his own audience.
Oh. What about when JF admitted to taking money from Jeffrey Epstein to Richard Spencer's face? That's a big snake move. Right to Spencer's face. I guess that doesn't make it a snake move, though, because it wasn't like he was prowling in the weeds and the grass and then just out of nowhere struck.
Here's an underrated snake move, but I think I'd personally be able to give this the Golden Gunt in its own right. It's a snake move that we can actually see. It's not behind the scenes on any Discord or anything like that. But what happens is Kevin Logan hosts a stream with Kraut, and Kraut about 5 minutes in goes, "I'm gonna let Jeff deal with you." And then,
yes, this is the winner.
And then Jeff Holiday switches in the stream, and we see he's completely high on meth and his child running around in the background, and meth just talks about his degenerate sexual lifestyle. He tries to justify this weird relationship he has with his wife. And there's bafflement with Kevin, who can't get over the snake move that, this was a big gay op.
And the Golden Gunt goes to, goes to Kraut or to Meth Holiday for that?
Oh, I think it's a joint winner.
Yeah, it's a joint winner. Each of them gets half of a Golden Gunt. So Kraut and Holiday will have to split the Golden Gunt. But thankfully, it's a luxurious award this year. It's massive.
Now, this next category, the best debate, and by that we mean the debate where we watched it and we learned something, or we thought, this wasn't a shit show. This was actually a debate.
Did we learn anything from Sargon versus Spencer?
We learned to ask whether Lawrence Fishburne was white. Was there a good, well-informed debate?
This is tough. Are there any nominees? One I would say was one of the best informed debates of this past year would be Leo Pirate versus Nick Fuentes.
That's a good one, actually. That is a good one.
Leo Pirate actually embarrasses Fuentes regarding his lack of biblical scholarship. And this isn't favoritism. This is literally the only one we could really think of. So, and the Golden Gunt goes to Leo Pirate for spanking Fuentes' bare little ass.
Now, we reach a category where we consider the artistic aesthetics of IBS. And this is the Golden Gunt category of best cinematography. It can only be one person, right?
Coach Kino.
Coach Kino Pill and his multiple use of takes, multiple use of DSLRs and filters.
The drone shots, the order from chaos that is the wires and tape and glasses that are on his desk, the sticky notes.
Coach Kino was the best cinematographer of last year. He brought a level of artistry to IBS that will be sorely missed as we move forward to 2019.
Just to let everyone know, out of the brave 300 members of the Academy, all 300 voted for Coach Kino in this category. So the Golden Gunt for best cinematography in IBS goes to Coach Red Pill.
Now, this next category is best documentary, and I've got a few nominations here. I really enjoyed Gino Samuel's Chris Chan documentary that was in multiple parts. That was almost like a Netflix-style series of his life. There was a good documentary about Yandere Dev. And also, I really enjoyed, documentary-wise, the Tonka Saw Gym documentary. I thought that was fantastic. Honorable mentions to The Ballad of Mundane Matt, because that was also...
Ballad of Mundane Matt was fucking phenomenal. I think it's got to be one of Jim's. I think it's got to be the Jim Tonka documentary for me. But there was a lot of different ones that came out. There were some good ones on Fire Festival that came out. Internet Historian did one on the failure of Fire Festival. There was a lot of good documentaries, but I think you really did, with your nominations, encapsulate the very best. And between those, Godwinson, which are you leaning towards?
I really think the Chris Chan documentary by Gino Samuel was the one most deserving of the shiniest of the Golden Gunts.
I have to agree with you, because the subject matter of Chris Chan was treated with exactly the respect and dignity that it deserved in that documentary. It was brilliant and beautifully made. And Tonka Saw can never be anywhere near the level of a cow that Chris Chan is. And for that reason, the Golden Gunt goes to Godwinson.
Gino Samuel's Chris Chan documentary series.
Gino Samuel's Chris Chan documentary series. Beautiful.
The category for best sound mixing, and this is a category that can only go to one person. It's the Kraut Leaks. That is the best sound mixing of 2018 of the IBS year that's just passed. What fantastic hours and hours of audio leaks coming out of Kraut's Discord, each with a new revelation, each with a new gay up, an up to end all ups. Listening to that, watching streams where other etalebs are listening to those and just reacting with the visceral disgust that comes hearing, Kraut and Tonka Saw and David Shitrat and V plotting in a Discord together about how to gay up you.
And it was nearly a unanimous vote, but there was one brave member of the Academy who refused to vote for Kraut and give him a gunt, and that was Coach Red Pill, who voted for himself. But it was almost a unanimous. The Golden Gunt does, in fact, for sound editing, go to Kraut.
Now we have the Golden Gunt for best production design. Now you have an interesting take on this, because your nomination is Heel Turn, right?
Yeah, my nomination is Heel Turn because of the beautiful vaporwave aesthetics of Heel Turn. As you look and you see that almost Greek architecture with that beautiful screen, and the vapor wave in the background. It is, in my opinion, one of the most aesthetically pleasing programs on air today. And if I could do that, I would, but it's been stolen from me by the heel.
My nomination for Best Production Design is Nick Fuentes and the green screen he's erected in his mother's basement. The new studio that he presents to the audience of incels that he's gathered. I think that's the best production design. Just the sheer ambition and shamelessness of doing it in his mother's basement.
The argument that you've laid forward is both logically sound and emotionally compelling, Godwinson. And for that reason, the Golden Gunt does go to Nick Fuentes' set in his mother's basement.
What?
May he get extra ramen this year.
Now, we have a very special award in the Golden Gunts this year, and it's sponsored by V, and it's the V Award for Loyalty. It's the most loyal soldier award. If we exclude V, as he's the one sponsoring this award.
So I think it's got to be narrowed down to Gator, Geek Thulu, and I think that's it. It's between Gator and Geek Thulu, really, for me.
Well, look, Gator didn't win most genuine person, but I think he's definitely the most loyal, because we can all see him there on the Titanic as the kill stream sinks into oblivion, right?
Yeah, I actually want to hear Gator on the very last episode of the kill stream sing that theme from the Titanic. And I always love you, Ralph. So Gator, the Golden Gunt for loyalty goes to Gator. Oh.
All right. Our next category is Best Newcomer. Best Newcomer to IBS. It's you, PPP. You are the best newcomer to IBS.
Is there anyone else that could possibly compete with me? I think in the last months of 2018, I really do deserve this award. All right. Well, I'm not going to contest getting a Golden Gunt. So the award for Best Newcomer in 2018 goes to the People's Populist Press. And everybody suck my dick for winning this Golden Gunt. It's a huge, huge accomplishment. I'd like to thank my esteemed co-host Godwinson. I'd like to thank Ethan Ralph for showing the whole world my ass on stream. That was really cool of him. And I'd like to thank Coach Keno for inspiring me to greatness.
All right, now our next category in the Golden Gunts is Best Video. And joining us from this category onwards, we're going to have my other esteemed co-host, Leo Pirate.
Boo! Seventh-day Adventists go home. Anyway.
Golden Gun Award Show? I didn't know I was partaking in an award show. What's going on?
This is the Golden Gunt.
This is the Golden Gunt.
We do it every year. It's got a tradition stemming back, 100 years now we've been doing this for PPP? We're entering our centenary.
Yeah. In the grand spectrum of times in the multiverse, the Golden Gunts have been going on since the beginning of time, since before either of us even existed beyond temporal planes.
So in the multiverse, guns have actually been around. There's an entire multiverse that's just comprised entirely of guns. So you've known about this long before Knoxville, and that's why this award show has existed for so long. It makes sense.
Our nominations for Best Video in the Golden Gunts. Well, I think personally, my nomination would be Toad's Chatelet Strangler video and it presenting Sargon as a cult.
I like that video a lot. I did a rip-off version of it myself that got quite a few viewers. So that's got to be up there.
It was an important service to the public. It alerted the dangers of Sargonism, because that is it in its most extreme unfiltered form. You just want to cut off. Forget about defooing your family. Just kill them if they don't actually agree with your liberalist principles.
I have another nomination, which would be Coach Red Pill's video, Always Be Shilling. I think that...
Yes. That was an apex of Keno.
It was an apex of Keno.
I want to nominate a really, really wonderful video. And it comes from a friend of mine called Cockrell's Milf. And he made this thing called Sargonic Lies, Sweet Sargonic Lies.
Oh, yes!
Compilation of all of the moments where Sargon has lied about being black or having a black grandfather.
Is he the same guy who did, Horseshoes Gate?
That's exactly it, yeah. And he did Lebensraum.
That video is...
Liberalist Lebensraum should be nominated too. That was really fucking good.
But again, I've got another great video just off the top of my head here. It's another coach one, but it's the most recent coach one where he snakes on Ralph, and he says that his friend should drop dead.
It's petty, but at least it has different camera angles and just amazing production values for what looks like a woman who's passive aggressively talking about her ex. It's incredible.
When I take hallucinogens, I don't take them all the time. I take them specifically for the purpose to go on a spirit quest. Like my last spirit quest was when I ate like a quarter ounce of magic mushrooms, and then I went and saw Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 9/11, his latest keynote. And before that, I was a Trump supporter. And then after I had to disavow, I had a spiritual experience, a revelation in the theater while watching Michael Moore. As the scene where Trump's voice emanates from Hitler's mouth, I realized my voice was emanating from Hitler's mouth.
PPP.
And so I had to,
PPP. Was you gaping your anus live on stream a spirit quest?
It was a spirit quest. Yeah, that was my spirit quest to commune with CAC.
Sorry, I'm in a public place at my university. I'm like dying right here.
I'm going to make an executive decision and say that the best video of the past year was Toad's Chatelet Straggler video.
I think we can all agree. The members of the Academy, though, split after a ranked provisional balloting system and an executive decision from the chairman. The Golden Gunt goes to Toad McKinley for his epic Chatelet Strangler video.
Now, we've got some very big categories here, and I'm glad there's three of us now to talk about these. We've got most iconic moments.
Well, the Gunt at Knoxville.
I'm thinking white N-words as well.
Oh, yeah, white N-words is right up there. There's two schools of thought, I think, on three schools of thought that I have. The first school of thought is that Gunt wins just because Gunt is what Gunt is. The second school of thought would be that Sargon is the biggest lolcow of the year for losing over $100,000 by saying white N-words. And the third school of thought would be that it would be Mundane Matt's while Mundane Matt breaking down to the Ralph retort would probably be the most iconic moment of Matt getting fucked.
What about Warski setting fire to his nipple?
It was good, but it didn't have as much lasting impact. You know what I mean? It was pretty good. He was burning his nipple. That is recorded. But the long-lasting impact on his character.
I also burned my nipple on stream, but everybody seems to forget that. I still have
a smiley. It was overshadowed by the other thing that you revealed on stream.
Anyway,
what about Nick the Knife? Him waving the knife in Halsey English.
That absolutely, because he was just getting Halsey to freak out while he was talking about the USS Liberty. He pulled out a knife on him.
Without Spencer saying to Sargon, "You're not as smart as you think you are," would blood sports even exist?
None of this would have happened. None of this would have happened without that exact moment. And I suppose that's pretty iconic.
I think that is the most iconic moment.
All right. I think you're right, because we're talking about lasting impact. Absolutely. Because it really did start blood sports.
I think there's a consensus amongst the Academy. The Golden Gunt for most iconic moment of 2018 goes to Richard Spencer for telling Sargon he's not as smart as he thinks he is. I never thought I would give an award to Richard Spencer, but that did just happen.
We have the next category in the Golden Gunt. Best cow. It's got to be Sargon, surely. Well, you've got Mundane Matt, you've got Kraut, you've got Tonka Saw, you've got
Tonka.
JF to a certain extent.
This is really tough.
Yeah,
wow.
You've got Ralph.
Like
it can only be Sargon for me. Leo Pirate, what do you think?
For me, it's a toss-up between Tonka and Sargon. I mean, Tonka had way more spectacle, but the thing is, we were just talking about impact, like how important it is.
I think it has to be Sargon simply because it all climaxed in him being deplatformed from Patreon for doing the white N-words rant.
I think so, but
he lost $12K a month for doing that.
I heard he had gotten kicked from Patreon. Or was it because of the white N-words? Because there was a big space of time between the two.
Yeah, there was a Pate bin set up by some anons.
That really I'm sorry. I take it absolutely Sargon. Like he lost close to how much money he was making.
He lost over $100,000 a year. He lost a six-figure income overnight because I organized it and did Skeptic 9/11. It was all on me. The Golden Gunt for Best Cow of 2018 goes to Sargon of Akkad, and he'll be glad to have won an award. I won an award, you know. I'm an important person.
I'm as important as I think I am.
I interviewed some important people. I interviewed Steve Bannon. I think it's Sargon. I think everybody will agree, but there'll be some who say Tonka didn't get a fair enough hearing on that award.
I think people will also say Kraut, because I'm in two minds about Kraut and Sargon. Kraut just seems to keep coming back with more and more. I mean, every time he comes back with a video, more and more people unsubscribe from him. So this is why he has to pick and choose his battles now.
The difference is Sargon is still the only reason I hesitated in giving Sargon the award is because Sargon still is like doing shit. Like he hasn't been laid as low and as humble as Kraut or Tonka or even Mundane Matt. So
yeah, I mean, in many ways, Sargon has won, yet he also gets the golden Gunt, you know, to put on his mantelpiece.
I would just point out what happened to him with his Patreon, right? The white ends that he had said so long ago, right? That came back to haunt him. So while right now he isn't buried as deeply as Tonga, just wait. The internet doesn't forget.
I think Sargon, I hope he's learned his lesson. I hope 2019 isn't going to be him resurrecting these old beefs. It probably will be, because we all know what Sargon's like. And he's
look, if Sargon made me, if he made me his head advisor, if he made me his V, the first thing I would suggest is to never do another live stream ever again. Ever again.
It's like saving Western civilization by doing this.
But did you guys see the stream where he had against Jim, where he had like for 20 minutes he had his mic muted and he was just playing these. That was 2018 too, right? That was
but I knew that was intervention from God, right? Like you can tell when somebody's righteous or not. And Jim was chosen righteous by God, and no matter what Sargon does, he'll never defeat Jim. But
I just think Sargon as well, he had the most iconic moments. We've not mentioned it yet, but the suit, the ill-fitting suit that became that would have won the award, I think, had the Gunt not have eclipsed it. Of just symbolic and iconic of what this whole thing was.
Poor fucking Sargon, man. His life fucking sucks. I hope he just kills himself, but who knows?
He has to fight the culture war, PPP. He has to continue in the trenches with V and the quartering and Mundane Matt by his side.
I'm not gonna lie. This is a very black-pilling experience. Hearing you guys wanting the last hope for Western civilization to off himself. I mean, I don't know what I'm partaking in. All
right, our next category. We've got 3 left, guys. Our next category is best shit show.
That would probably go to the burning nipple, but not really. No.
IBS Apocalypse stream?
Yeah, there was what, 30 minutes where they were just talking at each other and no one was listening to anything. It was just them screaming and shouting. Tonkasaw screaming down the microphone.
That was I'll tell you, if you remember that stream, Jim just had a static image on screen the whole time. But in the Hangout, right, Zoom actually had Tonkasaw's father as his like full screen image. So every time he talked, just like Tonka's dad's face was just like taking up the whole screen. And there was a reason why Jim had it just be a static image for stuff like that. It was awful. Oh man, what a shit show! And
you were involved in this, right? You were involved. What is this thing with you and Backyard Blood Sports? Do you want to give us like?
It's with Joaquin. It's with Joaquin. It's with Joaquin. This guy is a colossal lolcow, but just hasn't been documented. And he's involved in TRS. I mean, I could talk forever about them, but what you need to know.
I'll give you a little background with me and Joaquin and Underwater Alex Jones. I was on like one of their first heel turn streams. They contacted me on to talk about liberalist leagues. They seemed okay. They seemed okay, but they, I don't know. They thought they were going to go to stratospheric heights by running the Streamlabs thing.
I thought Joaquin was okay too. I mean, I did the first episodes with BYBS.
They both were cool. Interested in their ideas more than making money from their ideas. That was my opinion.
And they're just terrible people. Like Zoom, he wanted Zoom to dox members of BYBS. He wanted to start his own show. And that was the whole reason why I was on the IBS Apocalypse, was to expose how much of a colossal faggot Joaquin is. And what you don't understand is, the day King of Pole was exposed on that gym stream, did you know the night before, Joaquin sent a picture of his balls?
Yeah. So I conducted an interview with King of Pole about this very thing, about Joaquin writing, KOP on his balls and sending them to King of Pole. And then we did that an hour before Jim did his outline stream. So I was there, but I just didn't understand the wider context of the autism.
I asked him actually, like, why did he do it? And he said, dude, isn't that so old internet? Am I right, guys? Isn't that very old internet? Sending pictures of your balls to other men? That's so old internet. Epic troll.
So what was the big thing then? What happened with Backyard Blood Sports? Because from what I understood, you were trying to do a Kumite 2.0, right? You were making it more alt-righty and ideological. Am I right?
We just wanted to make it less e-celeb. Like, we would get randos from anonymous image boards, and we just talk about stuff that was whatever was a popular topic on anonymous image boards. But what happened is Joaquin couldn't keep up. He wanted it to become, a TRS show. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Because we all had different ideas. So he left. He got kicked out. That's great. We kept going. Then Tonka, out of nowhere, started antagonizing Diogenes, members of the show, saying that it's like this doxing show, it's terrible. And we're like, where is this coming from? And this goes outside the scope of it, but we believe Joaquin and Tonka, look how he reacted on the IBS apocalypse. Whose side was Joaquin on?
But Leo, he did this heel turn thing with Underwater Alex Jones, right? Like, he took him with him. And then I think Underwater Alex Jones was doxxed as this smelly neat. No, but now he's handed over heel turn, his baby, to Richard Spencer after there was like a disagreement. There was a disagreement with Stryker. Am I right? Am I right in this? Yes, and I have that saved. He handed it over to Richard Spencer, which really highlights how much of a Fed informant he probably is. But I mean, it's incredible. He just gave it over to Richard Spencer. Why did he have a disagreement with Stryker? Aren't they ideologically on the same page? I mean, they're both all right. They're both because he was called out for the neo. He was called out for the neocon that he is. I mean, this is deepest law, PPP. This is deepest law. Anyway, IBS Apocalypse. That's a nomination for, what is it?
Yeah. No, I just had one more question, because this is deepest lore, Godwinson. This is important for some people to learn and to know, because we want to all be in the know about everything. But I have to ask Leo, why did you think it was a good idea to get involved in that and do a blood sports show? I'm guessing at the time shit hadn't gone wrong with all of them before, but especially to trust like no-name randos and think
were they your friends, or how did you know them? Through like a Discord?
Sure. No, the thing is, like, for one, I didn't trust any of them, and what it was is at the time the big topic of discussion at blood sports was the ethno state. And I wanted to get my 2 cents in, because not a single person brought up the moral element of the ethno state. They kept making it seem like that morality is tied to genes. And I just think that's a ridiculous assertion, because if you look at the white people of today and compare them with the white people of 1930s America, they're not even close to the same thing. They're not even close, morally speaking. So I wanted to address that point in an avenue I would be allowed to. Obviously,
I don't know, Leo. Let me just say, I would say to you that morality, I think people were just as moral back then as they are now. The only difference is that they kept up appearances on that they were moral. Whereas today, people don't even pay lip service to morality. But you are right about all the ethno-state shit. The reality is a bunch of guys circle jerking on a fucking stream of 9 people is never going to build an ethno-state. And we should have realized that from the very beginning. But it doesn't matter.
So Leo, what happened to Diogenes or Diogenes?
Well, he imploded on the Ralph Retort stream. I still DM him every now and then. He distanced himself from the internet, and that's for his own good. It's a good thing. But at this, I'm not kidding you guys. This is deepest lore. This doesn't, off the record. But he private chatted me before he went on Ralph Retort, and he said, "Leo, please give me good talking points." I said, "Don't do it. It'll be terrible." And I said, "You know what, Dio? I'm going to be praying for you." I said, "I pray, and this is my actual prayer. I pray to God that his interaction on that stream would bring mirth into this fallen world. I didn't know from what direction it would come from, but I just prayed, please let this stream, Diogenes coming on, let it bring laughter and happiness into this fallen world." That was the stream where Jay Caesar was discovered. I want you to know God,
wasn't it?
Yes, God answered my prayer.
That could
that was.
I refuse to believe this, because I refuse to believe God would answer any Seventh-day Adventist prayers, but who gives a shit, really?
What's the Golden Gunt going to? Is it going to the IBS Apocalypse?
Okay, wait. There were other shit shows, though, other than IBS Apocalypse. Though it was massive, and we got turned into a shit show because of talking about IBS Apocalypse. By virtue of that, it may very well deserve the win. But there was also fucking Knoxville is a huge shit show.
What
Okay,
about
not-
Sargon? What about Sargon going on Ralph Retort and presenting Gamergate 2.0, getting Donald Trump to tweet out Gamergate 2.0?
That's my
That will
personal
save.
pick.
That will save Western civilization, lads.
I almost forgot. I just think the IBS Apocalypse, because it was 6 hours just by its length, its sheer girth. 6 hours might be better, but Gamergate 2.0 is pretty bad. I agree.
Another nomination would be Mundane Matt being exposed as a flagger and being shouted at by Keemstar, and the whole revelation that he reported Keemstar to the FBI for swatting him. That was a great little shit show.
The night after when it was revealed that Tonka wasn't going to show up for the fight, and there was like an 8-hour kill stream, that was a massive shit show.
There was another great shit show where Jim and I think Keemstar did a interview with a drunken quartering on his own channel.
Yes.
Do you remember this? That was wonderful. That was bizarre.
Senpaku eyes.
That was the best coach take. If there was a category, a Golden Gunt category for best coach take, it was his take on the quartering and the Senpaku eyes.
Yeah.
And him being this butterfly that flits from thing to thing to attract subscribers and then moving on to the next thing and betraying former friends. Yeah, that was a great
That's
take.
jokes. That
jokes. Was a greatest coach take of 2018.
It's probably got to be the Blood Sports Apocalypse, doesn't it? But I do like Mundane Matt Melting Down was one of the biggest shit shows I've ever seen. And I think that does deserve some consideration up against IBS. Where are you at, Godwinson?
Well, I'm thinking Mundane Matt as well, because I'm thinking that stands up there as a piece of cinematic art. You could watch that next to like Godfather 2 and Once Upon a Time in America. It's just as a moment of kino in history.
The difference
it's a systematic destruction of a single person. So I will go more focused.
The difference is you can watch the Mundane Matt clip out of context, having no idea about any of this shit, and it's still equally as funny as IBS Apocalypse. But IBS Apocalypse, for the refined patrician of Bloodsport content, they'd probably go IBS Apocalypse. But because I'm not that studied and that learned in the deep lore that those two gentlemen were speaking about, I have to give the Golden Gun to Mundane Matt's meltdown on the kill streak.
We've got another category, and it's probably the most, I don't know, maybe it's the most serious, maybe it's the most profound, but it's the category for best show. What was the best actual show? You know, was it the Kumite? Was it Warski Live? Was it Ralph Retort? Was it Backyard Blood Sports? Was it Heel Turn?
Like Ralph Retort is the one that actually hosted the Mundane Matt, so there's already a huge bias towards that.
Ralph Retort deserves like an honourable mention simply because it's the one that outlasted all of them. You know, it's not crashed and burned yet. He's had some loyal capos there that haven't done a Warski Live or haven't done a Kumite and dismantled everything. As
of this date, when we've recorded these awards, if this was 2 weeks ago, Ralph would have easily won for best award. But because Knoxville happened and the way the reaction to Knoxville happened, we have to basically assume, based on prior experience, that he is going to end up with the same sort of reputation that Tonka Saw has, or that these other guys have. So for me, it's okay, what was the show that had the best moments of all?
You know what my nomination? You know what my nomination is, PPP? It's the shit stream. It's Coach's shit stream. It's a show. It's a show that had one episode, and already that one episode has been the most kino out of all of them. It's been the most consistent. It's been the most reliable in producing nectar.
We can
make by proportion.
We can make an argument for Warski Live, though. We really could, because Warski and JF had a lot of shows. There were some funny moments on the shows they did together, good debates and shit like that. Their show wasn't bad, and in the meltdown and the collapse of it was one of the best moments of the year. We knew it was one of the best shit shows of the year. Tonka's show, the Kumite, started it all, really, didn't it? So you have to give some credit to that, don't you? I don't know.
But was it the best? It was, a lot of dead
what was
air.
the best product that came out? What was the best? A lot of the Warski Live stuff, PPP, was just, if you watched it nightly, it was just boring talk about ethnostates for a long, long time. You know, the moments with like Nick the Knife and, you know, you're not as smart as you think you are, and setting fire to your nipple, they were littered amongst a long slog of yabbering on about ethnostates.
You're right. It just night to night, night in and night out, what show would you tune into? And
this is an interesting one. It would probably be the Ralph tour. You know, certainly after the mundane Matt flagging stuff, and certainly when Sargon was coming on. You know, he would just randomly appear with V.
We're kind of being douchebags because this award really should go to Ethan. Like it should go to Ethan Ralph. Like it really should. But because
can a man have two Gunts, one made of gold and one made of grizzled flesh?
It's hard to say. I really like your suggestion of the shit stream.
Yeah.
Where are you at, Leo Pirate? What are you thinking? Where are you at?
Well, if we're going from pure mathematics, by proportion of nectar by content produced, the shit stream wins. But if we're talking about consistently, as you used your criteria, every night, what would you watch? It would go to the Ralph Retort for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think that's where we're at. I think what we have to do is best show has to go to Ethan Ralph, but there has to be a category for the most nectar show, and that would go to the shit stream. Are we in agreement on that?
Yeah, the Golden
unequivocally.
Gun. The Golden Gun is sort of split two ways, or we invent a new category to give one to Ethan Ralph and one to Coach Red Pill.
Yes. Okay, so the Golden Gunt for best show officially goes to Ethan Ralph for the Ralph Retort, and the Golden Gunt for most Kino show of 2018 goes to Coach Red Pill for the shit stream.
Thus concludes the Golden Gunts. We categorically ran through each and every nomination for the Golden Gunts this year. What will the next year hold, lads? Any predictions for future winners of the Golden Gunt?
I have to say, probably in the next year, if Coach goes full board into blood sports, he will take the crown for king. But Ethan Ralph's reign as best show is coming to an end. We know it's coming to an end. And I personally think that if I was to get into blood sports, I could usurp that crown from the Guntmeister. For I have a luxurious Gunt as well. But let me know, guys. What are you thinking? Who's gonna take the crown next year?
Coach Kino rising to prominence because he's trying to get into the blood sports game might be something there. Seeing Ralph Retort's decline, that's going to be something. Seeing Worski try to survive as his channel is dead, that's certainly going to be something. He might go the Ice Poseidon route and live stream him trying to beat people up for Coke. We might see that. I don't know. These are all possibilities. And I wanted to say, just even the show, like This Week in Nectar, I didn't think there would be enough for each week. Likewise, I don't think there would be enough for a whole nother year of awards. But every time, I'm amazed. There will be. No doubt.
Well, Leo Pirate, I believe that the weekly format is the only way. That day to day, there's just not enough nectar that's collected. But that week to week, there will always be at least one spurg out, at least one moment of autistic drama that autistic people can speak about for 30 minutes and have zero dead air. I have that belief. I have that conviction.
I dream of Golden Gunts and handing them to fellow autists for their autistic shenanigans. I have a dream.
I have a dream that one day we're going to have an award show on a stage. Yeah, that next year for the Golden Gunts, we're going to have actual awards. And that many people will be honored to receive them. I have a dream today. I have a dream today that there will be lots of nectar and that much lulls will be had by all in the year 2019. And as we do the 2020 Golden Gunts, it may actually be even more Kino than this year.
That thus concludes whatever this was.
What a shit show.
The future is bright.